Wow. If you would have asked me last Monday if I'd be here having this meeting, I'd probably say, yeah, I hope so. We're lucky enough to have run very well throughout the season and have received one of the 14 at-large selections to the NCAA Men's Cross Country Championships. Will be hosted at the University of Missouri on Saturday. I think we run at 11 a.m. Eastern. Is that right? 11 a.m. Eastern. Will be led by Elsingi Kipruto, true freshman, who's run exceptionally well all year. And we're excited to be there. We're excited to represent the university, represent the city, and represent the state of Kentucky at the NCAA championship. So we're going to let it rip and do the best we possibly can. And it's going to be awesome.
Joe, you kind of, when you were in here earlier in the year, you kind of had that, maybe you said confidence, I think, about being better. I mean, can you just talk about the progression of the men's team and how kind of you got here?
Yeah, so we started out. We've had a lot of sixth place finishes this year. I think we were sixth in Alabama at the beginning of the year. We were sixth at Loyola, I think, but were we sixth, fourth? We were lucky enough to beat North Carolina, where that win is what got us into the meet this year. And the progression has just been a little better each weekend. We had a bit of a blip at the Nutty Comb meet, but we addressed that. We were finished 19th there. And we addressed that, and we know exactly why it happened. There's always a reason why things happen. You just got to figure it out. And then we've just gotten at the ACC meet. We ran well. We were just a little bit off of that 5, 6, 7 spot. And the ACC is the deepest cross-country conference in the country, and to be one of those schools that's representing our conference is a really testament to how gifted and driven these young men are. But that drive throughout the year and just that building throughout the year has led to us getting better and now having a chance to run for a national championship.
Having not been at, what was it, 2015? What was the reaction?
I had hair back then.
Yeah, what was the reaction from yourself and the play and your runners and when you learned of the bid?
Well, it's interesting because our sport is an objective selection process. So there is no subjectivity in our selection. All the time in basketball, there's always the 68th team that's complaining that they shouldn't be in and somebody should be in. Our sport is 100% objective. And there's actually a computer, a program that you use to see who's being selected. So all the regions are running at different times. And we're putting those, so we know our result. We know about 4 other regions' results. And we're putting the other region results in as they come, and we start thinking about an hour and a half after the meet, this might happen. And then it all came down to the West region. If Stanford is 6th, we go. If Stanford is 5th, we don't go. Stanford was 6th by, I think, 1 point? 1 point. And that's the reason. So it kept building throughout the trip home, and the stress level on that trip home was significant because the Wi-Fi didn't work on the planes. So we didn't know all the results, and then you start getting random texts when you land, congratulations, but you still truly don't know until that selection happens on Saturday, whatever day it was, Saturday at 5 p.m. So that tension was significant, and that whole process was exhausting.
Obviously, you mentioned that the selection is based on your body of work throughout the entire season, the teams you've beat, the way you've run at certain meets. But can you talk about this weekend specifically and just how things came together at the regional meet with different guys stepping up?
Yeah, so we needed to have our back end run really well, and our back end did an exceptional job with Spencer and Gustav. Those guys ran. We hoped that they could be around 50th place, and they were around 50th place, and that's what propelled us in to the meet. We ended up beating Furman, I think, by maybe 7 or 8 points. Had we lost to Furman, we don't go. So those guys really stepped up, and Elsingi ran well, and Ian ran well, and Joffrey ran well, and so that it was a complete team effort because we could have the number 2 guy in the meet, but if we don't have the back end going, we're not going to make the meet.
What was the reaction from the guys when you found out that you were in fact in?
Oh, they're thrilled. They're just over the moon. Spencer said, "This has been a dream of mine my entire life." And that's a kid from Southern Indiana. That's what his goal has been forever, is to make this meet. So a kid from Ferdinand. I don't even know where Ferdinand is, but that's his goal, and he worked his tail off all summer. And he's one of the core guys that holds this group together and holds this group accountable. And it's a reflection. Our team is a reflection of Spencer.
You speak to the year that Helsinki has had, and he was runner-up there. I assume this week he has a legit chance to finish up there pretty good, pretty high.
Yeah, he has a good chance to finish pretty high. His all year has been very good for Helsinki, winning a couple of races, progressing well, finishing third in the ACC meet. But that ACC meet, I don't know if you saw the finish. There was a group of 8 guys coming for him. Another 20 meters, he might have been 10th. But he's keep getting better and better. His runs are improving. His mileage is improving, and he's just a freshman. He's young. If you've seen pictures of him, he looks like he's a high school junior. So for him to be running with literally some of the best in the world, and there will be some of the guys in this race are some of the best in the world, to have a chance and just to be mentioned in that group is quite remarkable for him. But he's got a shot to run exceptionally well.
We've talked about the history of it. It's been a decade since we've been at the NCAA championships as a team. Can you just talk about the significance of getting the team to this point in your third year with the program?
Well, it's the goal from day one when we had this conversation 2.5 years ago at the introductory press conference. Our goal is to make the national championship, which now we've done. Now it's to run really well and then set ourselves up for next year. And now it's a collective, yes, we can do this. When you have guys, you have a collection of guys that want to run really well and want to do really well in school. They're not overly excited about Friday night nightlife because, hey, we got a long run on Sunday morning. And that's what these guys have been doing. They've been committed to the goal of running well, and it shows that if you just put your mind to something, you run 90 miles a week, you run 100 miles a week, you stay healthy, you stay happy, you have a chance to run really well and run with some of the best in the country. There's only 32 teams in the country that make this national championship, and that's really, really tough to do. And for these guys to do that is really impressive.
What do you think the team's expectations are for the national championship meet this weekend?
We haven't talked about it yet. We'll meet up for the first time tomorrow. The nice thing about our sport is we can give them ranges of where we think they can be based on what people have done throughout the year. I know the expectations are going to be high, but you have to run this race smart because it's 10,000 meters. It's a long way. The course is going to be a little soft, and if you go out too hard, you don't want to bonk because that can be a miserable death the last 1,000 meters. Go Cards!